Okay, so this is an encouragement for the general population of humanity, the complete total sum of all human beings that are alive today, all of you. Greetings and welcome. I hereby encourage you to rethink whatever so-called worldview or perspective you have in life, because generally speaking, it could basically be safely stated that in the Western world, there's basically a current, predominantly failed system, and the only sort of intelligence it has is based on and because of Judeo-Christian society and civilized values such as the Ten Commandments, just jurisprudence, some basic amount of law and order. And that is because these laws, like the Ten Commandments, for example, are intended to protect life and are therefore like a hedge around and an assistance mechanism for humans to actually basically keep the law of life. And you've got about, about 150 years or so? But if you think about it, what good does the modern world actually produce? Some scientific discoveries, some high tech, and that's about it. And there's an imbalance of, how shall we say, technology and how it's progressing, and ethical and moral progress too, leading to some dangers for humanity. Now, in life, we always have to stick to the code, to the law of the Creator, even if it's the most simplest one, that is just simply the law of life. So don't kill, don't murder, right? Don't steal, because that could lead to, and so on and so forth. Yet, really, what is like, if you think about it, the Western world, basically they say that the progress and so on was mainly made since about the Renaissance. And what is that, like 300, 400 years ago or something like that? So what are 300 or maybe even 500 years at max worth of progress? And if we analyze the history of the world, even for the past 500 years, there have been enough errors and imperfections that really don't bring about a very good report of humanity's progress and what they've accomplished. Look at the wars and the tragedies that happened. What are a maximum of 500 years or whatever since the Renaissance compared to 7,515 years of high civilized Judeo and even Messianic civilization as we find it, even where those that always refer to ancient Egypt as being the cradle of civilization, mention it actually came from Ethiopia. And so what are 500 years? What are the past 500 years of human, accomplishment, if you can call it that? Really, it's rather imperfect, and the world has to be reformed. It's still, in 2025, the state that the world is in is predominantly unacceptable to God and liable for divine judgment at any time. In fact, it's probably already happening. So all humans should rethink. You should rethink your value system, if you have a valuable value system, because look, the state that the world is in is a result of human actions, and these have been predominantly misguided or are a result of lack of knowledge, and therefore also inability to master life and master your life and your destiny as a human being. Those things are very important. And if we're going to think about the sustainable existence of humanity and look ahead even into the far future, a lot has to change very quickly Otherwise, there will be a self-destructive, and there already is that going on. You can see that in the global stage and global politics. So what I'm saying is you have to reorient as human beings. You have to recalibrate your orientational equipment, your values, your perspective, and your views. Now, I can only share with you what I've received and what has been revealed to myself in life, and I've also received from the Creator things like wisdom and applied this, and it's worked very good. You know, every human being should basically make their lives become very good by mastering their life and their destiny, and that's simply accomplished by choosing wisely, making some basically wise decisions in your life. And that's something that is not very difficult. It's an art, it's a discipline of self-mastery. So if you practice self-mastery, you're basically able to live a very good life from the automatic amount of providence that is always there, just sort of by having the right strategy and being successful thereby, and because of that. But if you think about it, for all we know right now, the wicked could in fact even be destroying each other, and the Creator could actually be watching this. Yet, you know, this idea too, look, the complete total so-called Judeo-Christian world, or anybody who's religious, or even all of humanity, you know, think about this. It does not make sense to just idly stand by and wait for God to intervene somehow in, you know, human affairs, global politics, history, or just to intervene and to just save the world all of a sudden. Rather, the children of God have to be legitimately, wisely, divinely proactive to accomplish the will of the Creator. Now, the will of the Creator, dear guests, friends, visitors, family, is not something that limits you at all. In fact, it's a great help, because it's as if all the dangers and the pitfalls that could potentially exist in life, and there are obvious examples of this, those have all been they've all been neutralized based on how accurately you operate in life, and you can actually live a safe and a very good life. And I'm not talking about whether you have $1 billion or $10 or whatever. This is just simply that the providence of life is eternal and it's ongoing, and so you can live a good life if you simply live in harmony with the cycles of life.